Hi everybody, this is Frank with Tiny Plastic Spaceman, and today we're going to be unboxing and reviewing for you the new Iwata Studio Series Smart Jet Pro. Okay, so the Iwata Studio Series is their line of really good air compressors. Now, in the past, we reviewed other compressors that kind of run all the time. This is a tankless air compressor, and usually those types of compressors just run continuously. But this one is a little bit different. It features this thing called, that Iwata call, Smart Jet technology. So basically, when you press the button, or press the trigger, I should say, like that, for your air magically, or well, the compressor starts up. So it basically, it senses when you need the air. So it's a pretty cool little thing. So let's get this out of the box and let you see how it works. So it's a little bit heavier than what I thought it would be. Here we go. We got the, looks like the manual and maybe the warranty. Some foam blocks. We have the fairly basic, I must say, air hose, vinyl coiled air hose, and some adapters, which is a really nice touch for Badger, Pache, and Aztec. Extra screw for something. I think it must be to attach this, which is the second airbrush holder, because there's one already installed. So it's pretty weighty. 5.6 kilos, that's almost 12.5 pounds. So it's a heavy little thing. So there we are. Now, it's got these suction feet type feet, so it's meant to sit on your desktop. So that's a good sign. At the back, this is a UK plug. I'm not sure. Let me just see if this. Yeah, this particular model is a 220 to 240 volts. So it is not worldwide voltage, which is not a killer deal. I mean, unless you're traveling from the US to Japan or Europe quite a lot, then this may not matter. It probably doesn't matter. So let's see here. What else we can see? It is a bit curious that it does come with this extra, maybe that's for larger airbrushes. Or, no, it's the same exact size. So anyway, you have a spare airbrush holder for whatever reason. Maybe it, in testing they found out that it breaks or something, I don't know. Okay, so let's get it plugged in and see how quiet it is. Right, so we are plugged in. Let's get that so you can see the needle or the gauge. I do find it interesting that it came with this hose. It's basically it's a half inch at one end and 1/4 inch at the other end, which are the standard airbrush sizes. Normally I wouldn't be using this, the vinyl hose, because it kinks up too much. But you know, it's for a backup hose, it's not terrible. And again, normally I'd be putting PTFE or plumber's Teflon tape on the end there. So let's now I've got here a Sparmax Max 4 airbrush, which you can see the review for up here. Now it has a 1/4 inch adapter plug fitted on it. So just get that attached, and you can see that, there we go, it's quite easy. Where's the switch? Ah, it's on top here. That's pretty good, instead of being hidden at the back. So, you can see that that got right up to 25, 30 psi very quickly. And if we spray, so basically, it's a pretty neat little idea that we've got here. This is already all tangled up, but when you spray, it drops down. It's about 22.5 or so, 22. So it drops down below 20, and then it just kicks in as needed. So it's not constantly running. You can hear the air, and then that's it. When you release the trigger, it stops. So that's pretty good. Now what happens if let's just turn it off. Let the air out. You can hear the clicking of the check valve or whatever's in there. I'm not a hydraulics type person, so I don't really know. But let's see what happens if you have a Badger. Badger has these very tiny, I believe they're 5mm connectors. But how do you this is the quandary that face beginner airbrushes all the time. How do you fit this standard size 1/4" BSP to this 5mm metric? Well, that's where these little things come in handy. So no matter what type of airbrush you have, this is the standard fitting, and these have what are considered non-standard fitting. I'm a metric guy myself. I prefer metric. It makes way more sense than anything else. But if you don't have a hose that already has a Badger end on it, then you just attach this. Attach that to that. And then there we go. And then take that off, otherwise you'll fling it across the room. Turn this back on. And then spray as normal. That's pretty good. I like that. This might, I think this has just become my standard travel air compressor. It's pretty good. And it's nice and quiet as well. It's a lot quieter. And considering this is on a tabletop, which is basically a big speaker, yeah, it's pretty good. And obviously you have your moisture trap here, which is not the ideal location. You want it further away from the compressor, but you do have a pressure gauge on there, where if you look at the Arism compressors that I have reviewed up here, there's a couple other ones that I've reviewed, you don't have this sort of thing. You have a constant, just a gauge, and your compressor's constantly running. So every half hour or hour or so, you have to let it cool down for half an hour, or whatever the instructions say, at least 10 to 20 minutes. But with this, you can, if you want more power, more pressure, you just dial it in. Oops, there goes that tip. So yeah, and that's constantly going. So yeah, I must say this is a pretty good compressor. I do like it quite a lot. My previous, my standard compressor that I use for day-to-day stuff in my studio, so to speak, is a big 15-liter tank. It's not an Iwata, but it's a big, like, pro-level thing that is just way overkill. But it is basically silent for me, and this is about as quiet as I think you can expect to get. I can certainly believe that you'll be able to hear me just fine. You can hear the air coming out. You can hear the compressor coming on, but you can probably still hear me talk. So that's pretty good. And these suction cup feet really help. They're not soft suction cups, but they do hold the vibrations down quite a lot. Right. So as far as the cost, in UK pounds anyway, it's about £300 online. Let me just shut that off. And compared to the Sparmax Viz, which I reviewed previously, that's about 200 pounds, and I think the normal Arism is, I think, about 125, but don't quote me on that. So it is a sizable chunk more, but if you need something really quiet with a proper gauge, and I believe the engine will the motor will probably last a bit longer because it's not constantly running. It's only running when you need air, so that's pretty good. I think this might be something that you might want to check out. So it's pretty good. I would give it definitely a thumbs up if I had the money to get it. So yeah, I think that's pretty good. So if you found this informative, please give us a like. Subscribe down below for more reviews and unboxings like this. Please be sure to check out tinyplasticspaceman.com for all your commission painting and whatever needs that you want. And check us out on Facebook, Instagram. We've got TPS Painting Studio on Instagram, and of course online at tinyplasticspaceman.com. So that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next video, and happy wargaming.